Hello guys, welcome to another video. This one is paper 1 of October-November 2019. As you can see, this one is the syllabus 4048 for Singapore paper. Now, if you guys want me to do these kind of papers more often, do send me the papers by email. I will leave my email in the description below. Now, with that being said, let's move on to question number 1. So here we have the number of people in a cinema is given as 400. That is the value for number of people. Now we have the correct to nearest 100. 100 means 100. Okay, that is the approximation. Now question, we have to write down the minimum number of people that could be in the cinema. So basically we are trying to find the lower bound for this value. So we have the value plus minus this number divided by 2, that is 50. So you will have 450 on top and 350 at the bottom. So the minimum will be this one, the lower bound of the value, and that will be question number 1 for only 1 mark. Now move on to question number 2. So here we have a chart, and the main question is explain how the chart may be misleading. So by observation you can see that as you increase in the number of years, you can see that both the length and the breadth is increasing. So because of that, we're not sure what are we measuring. Are we just measuring the height or the area of the cards? So let's write this down. So since both the length and the breadth are increasing, so it is not clear if the total spending is determined by the length or breadth or by the area of the cards. By the length. So it is not clear if the total spending is being determined by the height, which is the breadth, or by the area of those cards. So we are not sure what are we exactly reading to find this spending. That's why it may be misleading. That is question number 2. Now question number 3, we have to simplify. As you can see, this one is a simple indices question. We just have to bring in the power. So you will have 6 times 2 over 3. Simplify. That will be 2. So 2 times 2, that will be 4. Okay, now for part B, as you can see, we have 3 power a equal to 3 power 7 plus 3 power 7 plus 3 power 7. Now you can see they are all the same. You can add them together. For example, let's do this. Let u equal to 3 power 7. So you will have 3 power a equal to u, which is 3u. Now replace the value of u back. You will have 3 times 3 power 7, which is 3 power 1 times 3 power 7, which is 3 power 1 plus 7, which is 3 power 8. So we have 3 power a is equal to 3 power 8. Now we can cancel the base because they are the same. You will have a equal to 8. Now for part 4, express 360 as a product of its prime factors. So step by step, we can just divide by 2 because it is even. You will have 180 divided by 2, 90, divide by 2, 45. Then we can divide by 3, 15, by 3, 5. So your answer will be 2 power 3 times 3 power 2 times 5. Or you can write 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 5. It is the same thing, right? Now for part B, we have to find the number p and q, which are prime numbers, and this thing is a perfect cube. So how can you make this become a perfect cube? So we know this is 360 is 2 power 3 times 3 power 2 times 5 times p divided by q. Now what is a cube number? Cube number is basically 1 cube, 2 cube, 3 cube, 4 cube, and then keep going on. So, and we have p and q are prime numbers. So what are the prime numbers that you know? We know 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, and then keep going on. So p and q will be from this set, but we have to make this number right here become a cube number. So if you observe, this one is already a cube number, so we can leave this outside. So from here we can see we have 3 power 2, and we know that 3 power 3 is a cube number, so we can make p becomes 3, so that this will become power 3. Now we can make q become 5, so we can eliminate this 2. So you will have 2 power 3 times 3 power 3. And this will be, as you can see, they are both cube numbers, so it will be a cube number. So basically, by taking p as 3 and q as 5, which are both prime numbers, it will make this number become a cube number. That is question number 4. Now question number 5, the estimated number of tigers increased from, this is the initial amount in this year, and became this in this year. So it took 6 years, so number of years will be 6. And the initial amount was 3200, and the final amount was 3890. Now the number increased by R% every year. So whenever you have increased by a percentage every single year, we can call this a compound growth for this tiger. So we can just replace the value in your formula for compound growth, which is a is equal to p 1 plus r over 100 power n. So we know a is the final amount, which is this one, which is 3890, equal to p 3200. 1 plus r is, we don't know, power n, which is 6. Now we have to find r. We have to make r become the subject of formula. At first you will have 1 plus 100 power 6. That will become, divided by 3200, that will be 1.2156. And then 1 plus r power 10 will be this power 1 over 6, 1.033078. So simplify, r will be minus 1 and times 100. That will be 3.3078. So your answer will be 3.31. Correct with 3SF. And that is your question number 5. Let's move on to question number 6. So we have to write as a single fraction in its simplest form. So the first thing you realize is that we have two fractions and the base are different. So we have to make it become one base. So one way we can do this is we can multiply them by each other. You will have 2x minus 3 times 3x times, so minus 1. Then we have to cross multiply. You will have 3x minus 1 minus 3 times 2x minus 3. This will become 3x minus 1 minus 6x plus 9 over same value, and that will be simplified to what? Let's see. 9 minus 1 is 8 minus 3x divided by 2x minus 3 and 3x minus 1, and this will be your answer for part 6. Now for part 7, a bag contains 8 red counters, 9 green counters, and 3 yellow counters. So everything together will be 20 counters. Now part 1, a counter is chosen and at random and then replaced. Good. What is the chance that it is not a yellow counter? So it can be green or red. So it is 17 over 20. Right. Now part B, X green counters are removed from the bag. So right now we have n will be 20 minus x. We took out x, right? Now the chance of choosing a red counter is this much. So red we have 8 over 20 minus x will be 2 over 3. Find the value of x. So we just have to cross multiply. You will have 24 is equal to 40 minus 2x. 2x will be 16. X will be 8. 8 will be the value of x. Now for part 8, use factorization to solve the equation. Solving means finding the value of p. The first step is to factorize. This is 3p times p. And 10, what are the factors of 10? It is 1 times 10 or 2 times 5. But we need plus 1 here, right? Plus 1. How can you have this? By observation, we will have to put 2 here and 5 here. That will be plus 6 minus 5 to get plus 1. So p will be 5 over 3. P will be minus 2. This will be your answer for question number 8. Let's move on to question number 9. So choose a symbol from the list above to make a correct statement. This one is less, equal, or more. This one is what? It is 33 divided by 100. That will be 0.33. This one is 0.3333. Keep going on. As you can see, yep. So basically the left side will be less than the right side. Now part B, we have to solve this inequality. So finding the value of x. The first step is you want to eliminate the 11 everywhere. You will have minus 5, 2x. That will be 8. And then divide by 2 to get x, right? That will be 4n minus 2.5. So your answer will be minus 2.5 and the value of 4. Now question P, part 10, sorry. So P is directly proportional to Q cube. So P directly proportional to Q cube, which means P is equal to K times Q cube. Okay, so when this is the value, we have this one. So 2 will be K. 1 over 3 will be 1 over 27. From this, you can see K has to be 54. So you have P equal to 54 and Q cube. Main question is to find the value of P when Q is equal to this. P will be 54 times Q, 1 over 6 power 3. That will be what? 1 over 4. Okay, and this is your answer for part A. Now for part B, a change in Q produces a change in P, okay? When the value of Q is multiplied by this, so the new Q will be half Q, and the new P will be MP. Okay, so these are the new values. Now, our equation was this before, so we had P is equal to K times Q cube. From this, we know K is equal to P divided by Q cube. Now, replace these values back in your main equation. You will have MP equal to K. K is P over Q cube times Q cube will be Q cube over 8. Now simplify. This will go away. This will go away. So you will have M is equal to 1 over 8. Okay, and that is your question number 10. Now question number 11, we have to factorize this equation. So you can observe that y power 4 is equal to y power 2 and then square. So this is equal to x squared minus y squared square. That will be x minus y squared, x plus y squared. Okay, and this is your answer for part A. Now for part B, we have to factorize this completely. So by observation, we can take these two on one side. You will have 6ab minus 3a, and then we have plus 1 minus 2b. Now we can factorize minus 3a outside. You will have 2b plus 1, and here we have plus 1 times 1 minus. So here we have, okay, minus here, sorry, because when you take a minus, it will be minus here, minus 2b. So if you observe, these two are the same, you can factorize. You will have 1 minus 2b outside, and then 1 minus 3a. So this will be your answer for part B, question number 11. Let's move on to question number 12. So here we have what? We have the shape ABCD. We have to construct the bisector of angle AEDC, so which is this angle. So we have to use a compass for this one. So step by step, first go to your point D, and then you have to intersect your line DC and DA. Then go to these 2 points. You have to make an arc inside of the shape, and this one as well. Intersect your other arc. You will find a point of intersection, which is this one. Okay, so now we have to join D to the point to form your bisector for the angle D. Okay, this is your answer for first part. Now second part, we have to construct the perpendicular bisector of AB. So pretty easy. We have line AB. Now we have to draw the perpendicular bisector. So you go to your point B, measure distance which is more than half of AB, and then we can draw an arc on top and below, and then go to your point A with the same distance, intersect the first arc and the other arc. You'll have 2 points here. One point is here and one is here. Then we join those two to form the perpendicular bisector of AB. Okay, so this will be your answer for part 2. Now for part C, we have to shade the region inside of ABCD, which is closer to DC than to DA and closer to A than to B. So it has to be closer to DC. So this is DC on top, has to be on top of this line, and we have to be closer to A, has to be close to A. So top and close, you will have to be this region. So this will be your region to be shaded. Okay, and that is your question number 12. Now question number 13, the point A is translated to point B by this vector. Find the point A. So pretty easy. So we know that when you take A, you have to plus your translation vector, which is this. That will give you B. Now from this, you know, to find A, we have to make this become subject. You will have OB, which is 5 minus 2 minus 3 and 7. This will be 5 minus 3 will be 8. That will be minus 9. This is your point A. Now for point B, find the magnitude of this vector. So use your formula, which is square root, first value square plus 7 square. That will be 58. That will be 7.62, correct your 3SF. So of course you have to write down units for the magnitude. This is question number 13. Let's move on to question number 14. So let's see, what do we have here? So we have 3 towns, cities, Singapore, Delhi and Tokyo. Okay, we have these 3. And we have angle SDT. SDT is 55. What else do we have? The bearing of Delhi from Singapore is 317. So from Singapore, so this angle here is 317. Okay, and the bearing of Tokyo from Singapore is 44. From Tokyo, from Singapore, so this angle here is 44. Okay, that is good to know. Now what is the question? So we have to find the bearing of Singapore from Delhi. So go back to Delhi. Okay, this is our north line. So we need to find this angle. So how can you find this angle? So we have to observe first. So if this is 317, what is this angle then? Okay. Or if you want to, we know this is 317. We know this is 180. What is the value of this angle? Okay, so we know 317 minus 180, that will be 137. So this angle here, let me use a different color. So we know that this angle here is 137. Now because of that, we know these two are parallel, so these two has to be alternate angles, so this angle here will also be 137. Okay, so the angle, the bearing of Singapore from Delhi will be 137. Okay, now for part B, we have to find the bearing of Delhi from Tokyo. So go back to Tokyo, continue this line. So we have to find which angle? Delhi from Tokyo, so we have to find this angle. So one way we can do this is, we can first, because we know this part here, this part is what? This part is 180, right? Because it is a straight line. We can find this one by looking at this one. If this everything is 137, so what is this one? This will be 137 minus 55, that will be 82. Okay? If this is 82, this also will be 82. So let's add them together. 180 plus 82, that will be 262. So your answer will be 262 for the bearing of Delhi from Tokyo. That is question 14. Now question 15, sketch the graph of y equal to this on the axis below. Indicate clearly the coordinates of the point where the graph crosses the axis and the maximum point on the curve. So one by one, first the axis. So axis means x-axis and y-axis. So let's see. On the y-axis, what do we know? We know that the value of x has to be 0. Replace x in this equation, you will have y will be equal to what? It is minus 0 minus 2 square plus 9. That will be minus 4 plus 9. That will be 5. So your first point will be 0, 5 on the y-axis. How about the x-axis? Okay, so x-axis, we know that the value of y has to be 0 on the x-axis. Replace back in your equation, you will have 0 is equal to minus x minus 2 square plus 9. So we have to make this become subject. You will have 9, x minus 2 become plus minus 3, right? So x will become 2 plus minus 3. X will become 5 or minus 1. So your 2 points on the x-axis will be 5, 0 and minus 1, 0. These are the 2 points on the x-axis. Now we have this is done. We have to find the maximum point. To find the maximum, we have to look at our equation. So pretty easy. Whenever your equation has been expressed in complete square form, you can just take this value inside, x minus 2, equate that to 0, that will give you x equal to 2, and look at the value in the back, this is y equal to 9. So this will be your maximum point, which is 2, 9. So now we have all the points we need, we can sketch our graph. So now, whenever you see sketch, it doesn't need to be exact, it can be a rough drawing, it is fine. You just need to show them the shape, and these points, you will get your full mark. So first point you have is 5, 0, let's say it is somewhere about here. And then we have minus 1, let's say it's somewhere about here. And then we have 0, 5, let's say it's somewhere about here. And then we have 2, 9, let's say 2 is somewhere about here, right? So now we can just sketch. So this is my maximum point. This will have to cross my y-axis at this point, and then here, and then we must have this one right here, and then we have to label this as y equal to minus x minus 2 square plus 9. So this is your maximum point. You have to mention this as 2, 9, your maximum point. This is your point 0, 5. So you have to show these points to get your full mark. And that is your question number 15. Let's move on to question 16. So here we have TA and TB are tangents to a circle. Now given that they are tangents to the same circle, we know that they must be the same length. Okay. Now we have to show that the triangle OAT and triangle OBT are congruent. So first, what does congruent mean? It means you have to show they are exactly the same. So we have a few ways of proving congruency. The first way you can prove is called SSS. You have to prove all the three sides, corresponding sides, are the same. That's one way. Second way you can prove is SAS. We can prove by showing that the angle in between and the two corresponding sides are the same. And third way, we can prove by ASA, by showing the side in between and the two angle on the side are the same as well. So let's see which way can we choose here. So first thing we know is these two sides are the same. Okay, and also we know that these two are the same as well, because they are the radius of the same circle, right? OA and OB are the radius. And now this is obviously the same because it is the same thing. OT is OT, right? So now we have shown by method number 1, we have proven that all the three sides are the same, all the corresponding three sides are the same, and by SSS these two triangles are congruent. So let's write this down. So let's do this. First one, we can say TA is equal to TB. This is given according to question, right? Now part 2, we know that OA is equal to OB is the radius, and then we have OT is common in the two triangles. So by SSS, which is all the three sides are the same, we have proven that triangle OAT and triangle OBT are congruent. Okay, that is the first part of the equation. Now for part B, now we have a point P that we don't know yet. It lies somewhere on the circle. So that triangle APT is congruent to triangle BPT. Okay, now on the diagram, mark the two possible positions for P. So this one you need to try and see where it might be. So by observation, you can see we can first put the point P right here, right? Because APT, BPT will be the same. Now the other point, we also can put this on the other side of the circle. We can put this right here. So this is point P and point P, so that APT or BPT will be congruent, which is the same. So this is your answer for part B and question 16. Let's move on to question 17. So here we have a distance time graph. It shows the journey for two people, No and Lim, between the two villages A and B. So this is A and B is on top. Okay. Now for part A, we have to find No speed for the first hour of the journey. Now, something you have to know is, whenever you have a distance time graph, the speed of a distance time graph is equal to the gradient. Okay, that's something you have to know. Now, for the first hour, from 10 till 11, it came to this point. So now there's many ways to find the gradient of a straight line. You can first find the 2 points on the line and then use your formula, or if you want to, you can just use this trick. We have to make a right angle triangle for the values. So basically, the height, what is the value for the height? We can check. So if 10 squared is 4, what is the value of 1 square? So 4 divided by 10, that will be 0.4. So here we have 9 square, so times 9, that will be 3.6. So the height is 3.6 and the base is 1 hour, right? So this is km obviously, because it is km. Now to find the gradient, we need km per hour. That will be height divided by base, that will be 3.6. Height by base. So your answer will be 3.6 km per hour. Now for point B, find the time when No and Lim passed each other. So by observation, you can see they pass each other at this point. So we have to find the time. So basically, we have to find this value on the graph. Now, what is this value, right? So we have to know how much is 1 square. So 10 square is 1 hour. 1 hour is 60 minutes. What is the value of 1 square? So 60 minutes divided by 10, that will be 6. So 1 square will be 6 minutes. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 squares times 4. That will be 24 minutes. The time will be 12 and 24, right? 12 and 24, and then that will be PM, obviously, PM. Now for part 2, how far are they from village B when they pass each other? So let's find out. This is the point here. This is village B. So we want to find the distance they are from village B. So here we have this point. And let's find out what is the distance from village B. So what is this distance? So let's first find the value of this reading. So we know that 10 square is 4, 1 square is 0.4. So what is this value here? Let's count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 times 0.4 plus 12 will be 14.8. This is 14.8. And what is this reading here? Let's count. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 times 0.4 plus 4, that will be 6.8. So the distance in between will be 14.8 minus 6.8. That will be 8. So distance from B will be 8 km. Now for part C, we have Lim jogs back to village B at 8 km per hour. We have to change that to meters per second. So pretty easy. What does this mean? It means that he travels 8 km per 1 hour. Now change this to meters per second. That will be 8,000 meters over 3,600 seconds. So divide, you will have 2. So we have 2 and 2/9 meters per second as your value. That is your question 17. Let's move on to question number 18. So first we have your universal set. They are integers. Integers are whole numbers between 4 and 16. So let's first list out those elements. So we know we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So this is the elements in your universal set. Now P is prime numbers. So we have 5, we have 7, we have 11, we have 13. So this is prime numbers in the set. Now Q, multiples of 4, we have 1 times 4, 2 times 4 will be 8, and 3 times 4 will be 12, 4 times 4 will be 16, so we don't have 16, that will be everything for Q. Now for factors of 30, let's find out. 30 is what? We have 1 times 30, 2 times 15, we have 3 times 10, we have 5 times 6. So we don't have 1, no 2, no 3, we have 5, we don't have 30. So remaining we have 5, 6, 10, and 15 for the set of R. Now for part A, list the elements of R. So as you can see, it is 5, 6, 10, 15. Now part 2, we have to find P intersecting R. So what is common in P and R? So let's say we have 5, and then that's everything. So we have only set of 5. Now part B, underline the correct statement from the list below. So which one is true? So R intersecting Q is your empty set. Let's see. R is here, Q is here. So they have nothing in common, so it is true. How about this one? So we have Q union R is this set. So we have Q union R will be 5, 6, yes, 8, yes, 10, 12. So 15 is missing, so it will not be true because 15 is missing from this set. Now this one, P intersecting Q is 0. So it is not true because we don't have the value 0, right? Now this one, Q is a subset of R, so we have Q here. R is here. It is not true because these are not in R, right? And last one, 16 is not an element of P. This is true. So you have two which are true. This and this are true. Now 19, Anne and Ben each have a saving account. The ratio Anne's saving and Ben's saving is 7 to 5. So let's do something here. Let's let Ben saving account at first was X. Let's say 7 to 5. Let's say Ben has X. So from this you will have, Mary will be having 7 X over 5. If that makes sense, because it will be 5 is X, so 7 will be X divided by 5 times 7. So you have 7X over 5 for N. This is Ben. Now, simplify this. That is 7 divided by 5. That will be 1.4. So basically, we have N and Ben. This is 1.4X and then X. Now what happens? They each spend $60 from their savings. So after spending, they will have 1.4X minus 60 and X minus 60. Okay. Now the new ratio is 3 to 2. That is the new ratio, 3 to 2. Find how much money Anne has now in her account. So first we have to find the value of X, then we have to find how much she has in the account. So we know the ratio, so we can just do that. So we know that 1.4 X minus 60 over this X minus 60 should give you 3 over 2. So we have to solve for the value of X. So cross multiply, you will have 2.8X minus 120 equal to 3X minus 180. So you will have what? Let's send this over here. And this over here, you will have minus 120 plus 180, that will be 60. And 3 minus 2.8, that will be 0.2. So X will be 60 divided by 0.2, that will be 300. Okay, so X is this value, but we want to find how much money Anne has. Anne has 1.4 times X minus 60. So times 1.4 minus 60. That will be 360. So your answer for question 19 will be 360 in Anne's account. That will be 19. Now question 20. So we have two geometrically similar bottles, this one and this one. Now the diameter of the base of the smaller bottle is 4 and the big one is 10. Question part 1. The height of the base, the height of the larger bottle is 30, so this one is 30. We have to find the height of the smaller bottle. So we have to use the fact that they are similar to find this one. So basically, their sides will have the same ratios. For example, if you take 4 over 10, that should give you the same ratio as their two height. So this one is, we don't know, over 30. So H will give you 4 times 30 divided by 10. That will be 12. So your answer will be 12 centimeters for part A. Now for part B, the smaller bottle has a capacity of 125 milliliters. The manufacturer makes another geometrically similar bottle again that holds 500 milliliters. Calculate the diameter of the base of the bottle. So let's call the smaller one A. Let's call it A. Yeah, A. And the new one, let's call this one N. We know that the ratio of their volume, so volume, is 125 to 500. That is the volume, right? And what is the unit of volume usually? It is something, you would say it is units cube. So you want to find the diameter. So what is the ratio of diameter? So diameter we don't know, but we know that it is in terms of units. So you want to convert units cube 2 units, you have to apply cube root to those values. That will become 125 cube root of 500. That is the ratio for their diameters. Now we know that for A it is 4. We want to find this one, so we want to find this value. So we're going to find this by doing ratios. So basically we know that root of 125 is equal to 4. Now cube root of 500 should give you 4 divided by cube root of 125 times cube root of 500. So we have 4 divided by cube root of 125 times cube root of 500. That will give you 6.35, correct to 3SF. And this is your answer for question part B of question number 20. Let's move on to question number 21. The cost in cents of printing black and white copies and color copies on two printers A and B is given below by P. Now A, we have Ko, Ming, and Suman each have access to the printers A and B. Okay. Ko needs to print 24 black and white copies and 14 color copies. Ming needs to print 29 white copies and X color copies. Suman needs to print 20 black and white, 15 color copies. Now represent this information as a 3 by 2 matrix. 3 means rows, so it is rows by column. So we need 3 rows and 2 columns. Let's think. That will be 3 rows and 2 columns. So 3 rows will be, we have black and white, black and white, and black and white. And here we have colors, colors, and colors. This is basically for Ko, Ming, and Suman, right? So we have 3 rows and 2 columns for your matrix Q. Okay, you just write this here, okay? Now for part B, we have to find in terms of X this value. So T will be, Q is this one, which is 24, 29, and 20, 14, X, and 15 times P. P is given to you by 10, 18, then we have 40, then we have 45. Okay, so let's see how can we do this. So we have to do rows by column, rows by column. So this times this plus this times this, 24 times 10 plus 14 times 40, that will be 800. Now for this value, you will have 24 times 18 plus 24, so plus 14 times 45. That will be 1062. And this one, rows by column, 29 times 10, that will be 290 plus 40x. And then this one will be 18 times 29, so 18, 29 times 18, that will be 522 plus 45x. And then this one, okay, 20 times 10 plus 15 times 40, that will be 800. Then you have 20 times 18 plus 15 times 45, that will be 1035. This will be your answer for the value of T. Of course, you will write this more properly, okay? Now for part C, if Ko and Ming both use printer A, this is A, right? B. This is still a Ko, Ming, and Suman. Now if Ko and Ming both use printer A, Ming would pay 70 cents less than Ko. So basically, Ming will pay 70 cents less than Ko. So if you take Ko minus Ming, that will give you 70 cents, right? Now let's solve for the value of X. You will have 800 minus 290 minus 40x is equal to 70. So 40x will be what? 70, that will be 440. X will be divided by 40, that will be 11. Okay, so your answer 11 will be value of x. And that is your question number 21. Let's move on to question number 22. So the diagram shows the points A, B, and P. So A, B, and P. Now we have Q is a point on AB, so that PQ is perpendicular to AB. So we have to use this information to find the equation of line PQ. So pretty easy. To find the equation of a straight line, you first have to find the gradient of the straight line. But here, to find this value, we have to first find the gradient of AB, which can be found by using these 2 points. So let's do that. Gradient of AB will be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That will be minus 6 divided by 9. That will be minus 2 over 3. Now because of that, we can derive, as you can see here, we can derive from that equation the gradient of PQ has to be 3 over 2. Now we just need a passing point. We have the point P, which is 5, 4, x and y. We can find the equation. Y minus 4 over x minus 5 is equal to 3 over 2. Now we just cross multiply, you will have 2y minus 8 is equal to 3x minus 15. 2y equal to 3x. So here we have minus 15 plus 8, that will be minus 7. So this is your answer for part 22. Let's move on to question 23. So here we have a scale of 1 centimeter represents n meters. Okay, now this may be different for you as well, the shape or the length, but as you can see, the steps will be the same. So first I will measure my length. This shows to be 5.8 for me. The length is 5.8 centimeters, which means, so we have to multiply. So we'll do that later on. How about the width? The width for me shows to be about 4 point, I would say 4 point, let's choose in between. For me shows 4.85. Okay, this is my measurements, but your values may be different, and that's okay as well, but the methods of solving the equation will be the same. Okay, so here we have the floor of bedroom. It is drawn to scale of 1 centimeter for n meters. Okay, the actual area of the floor is this much. We have to, using the plan, find the value of n. Okay, so we know this is the value that we have for the area of this, so we can find the area first. So we know that 1 centimeter is n meters, so 5.8 will be 5.8 n meters. This one will be 4.85 n meters. So how do you find area? That will be length times width, which is 5.8 n times 4.85 n. So 5.8 times 4.85, that will be 28.13 n square for the area. Now we have to equate this to this. So we know that 28.13 n square is equal to 19.2. So we have to find the value of n. So n square will be 19.2 divided by answer. That will be 0.6825, and will be square root of that. That will be 0.826. Of course, your value may be different depending on your reading for those two sides, but as you can see, the method of solving this will be the same. Now for part B, Cheryl decides to varnish the floor in her bedroom. The varnish she needs is sold in tins of 3 sizes. Okay, so 1 liter of varnish covers 16 meters square. So you have to know that the actual floor is 19.2 meters square. So calculate the least amount of money Cheryl needs to pay for the varnish. So let's see what combination of these 3 products will give you the least cost. So she will need 19.2. So she will need how many liters? Let's check to see. So we know that 16 is equal to 1 liters. 19.2 is equal to 1 divided by 16 times 19.2. That'll give you 1.2 liters, which is she will need 1,200 milliliters to varnish the floor. So by observation, you can see that 1 liter is this cost, but 500 is this cost. If you take 2 times this one, it will give you somewhat less than, it will give you 85, which is less than this one. So you will buy 2 of these and 1 of these, right? So the cost will be 85 plus 24. That will be 109. So part B will be 109 for the least cost she has to pay. Now let's move on to question number 24. So here we have a frequency height graph. The histogram shows the distribution of the heights of 60 people. Okay, sorry, it's young trees, not people. Now which interval contains the median height? So pretty easy. 60 plus 1 divided by 2, that will be 30.5. that is between 30 and 31 value. So let's first find out where are those 2 values, right? 30 and 31. So this first one is 4, plus 6 is 10, plus 8 is 18, plus, what is this value, 11? 18 plus 11, that will be 29. And as you can see, 29 is here. So plus, so here we know we are 29 with everything together. But here is 14. That will be 43. So basically, in this big set, we have 30, 31, 32 until 43. So the interval will be between 180 to 200. That will be your interval for the height. Now for part B, calculate an estimate for the mean height of the trees. So we can use our formula here. Mean height is equal to sum of fx divided by number of trees is 60. Now we know f has been given to you by the frequencies. Let's write this down. F is basically the frequency. So first group, it is the value 4, then we have 5, value 5, then we have value of 8, then we have 11, then we have 14, and then we have 12, then we have 6. X will be the midpoint of those intervals, midpoint. Okay, so first one will be 110, then we have 130, and this one will be 150, 170, 190, 210, and 230. So we have to find the sum of fx. Fx is multiplying these two together. So we have 4 times 110 plus 5 times 130 plus 8 times 150 plus 11 times 170 plus 14 times 190 plus 12 times 210 plus 6 times 230. That will be this much for the sum divided by 60. That will be 179. Correct to 3SF for the mean of those trees. Okay, so that will be your question number 24. Let's move on to question number 24, part B. So here we have a cumulative frequency graph. Question: we have to use your graph. Again, we have 60 trees. Okay, we have to find the number of trees with a height of at least 1.92. So let's first find out what is that value. So here we have centimeters. First we have to convert this to centimeters. So multiply by 100. That will be 1.92 centimeters. Now go back to your graph. So 192 will be, this is so we have 5 square is 20, 1 square is 4, so we have 184, 188, 192 will be here. So we have to draw a line to intersect the curve and then find the corresponding value on your graph. So somewhere about here, that will be this value. So this is the value 35. Now if you see, we want the value of number of trees with at least mean more or equal to, so we have to find the value above this, which is this distance, which is 60 minus this will be 25. Your answer will be 25 trees will have height at least 1.92. Now for part 2, find the interquartile range, which is Q1 minus Q3. Q1 is 4 times 60, that will be 15th element, and Q3 is 3 over 4 times 60, that will be 75th element. So 15th will be, well, that will be right here. Let's find the corresponding value. So it shows to be this one, which is, this is Q1, which is shows to be 156, and 75th value will be, sorry, let's try again. I think it's 45, because 3 times 15 is not 75, it's 45. 45 will be right here. Okay, that is the value of 204. So the range will be the difference. That will be 204 minus 156. That will be 48. Okay, that is the interquartile range of heights for the trees. Now part C, we have another set of trees have heights with the range of 36. Okay, explain what this tells us about the second set of trees compared to the first one. So basically here we are comparing the range. So this tells us that the second set of trees, they are less spread out. So whenever you compare interquartile range, we are comparing the spread of the value, which is height, spread of heights here for the trees. So basically you can just write, since the IQR of the second set is less than 48, we can conclude that the height of these trees are less spread out from the median than the first set. Basically it is more consistent, or it is less variable, if that makes sense. Okay, that will be your question 24. And I think we have another question here, 25, and that will be our last question. So let's see what we have here. It says the first 4 terms of a sequence are 8, 11, 14, and 17. So as you can see, we have a common difference of 3, 3, and 3, right? The sum of the first n terms are given to you by this formula. So first n terms have to be pn squared plus qn, Now, when this is true, we have this value, that is our first equation. We have to show this one. Now, by observation, you can see that q is here, and right beside q we have 2, which is n. So let's take the value of n to be 2. So you will have s of 2, that is p times 4 plus that will be q 2 times q. Now what is s2? S2 is the sum of the first two terms, which is 8 plus 11, that will be 19. That will be 4p plus 2q. So we have shown that 4p plus 2q is equal to 19. Okay, that will be shown as required. Now we have to solve the equation, so pretty easy. Let's make p become the subject. You'll have 8 minus q. So 4 times p will be 8 minus q plus 2q equal to 19. So you will have 32 minus 4q plus 2q equal to 19. Simplify, you will have minus 2q. So 19 minus 32 will be minus 13. So q will be divided by minus 2, 6.5. Now p has to be 8 minus 6.5. That will be 1.5 as your value. That is part A. Now part B, the sum of the first n terms of a different sequence is given by this. So Sn will be 3n squared plus 7n. Now find the 10th term of this sequence. So pretty easy, we can just first find the sum of the first 10 terms minus the sum of the first 9 terms to get the 10th term. So that will be S10 will be 3 times 100 plus 70 minus 3 times 81 plus 7 times 9 should be 63. That will give you 300 plus 70, and then minus 3 times 81 plus 63. That will be 64. Okay, so 64 will be your answer for the 10th term. Okay, so that was the last question of this paper. So I hope that was somewhat helpful.